Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a first perspective on things and how we see it. So let's get straight into this topic. So as you guys know, there was a big conversation towards the tail end of this season, and it had everything to do with the 65-game rule. And there were conversations around certain players being robbed of like NBA teams, all NBA teams like Kate Cunningham. Obviously, players like Luka Doncic who didn't meet the 65-game threshold, and if you've had a few other guys that has kind of brought up this conversation. Then recently, Victor Wembanyama spoke on it, and he said it wouldn't be fair. Now they're talking about a minutes thing. This league is so weird, bro. Like it's just NBA has turned into like a weirdo factory, man. Like what are we talking about now? Minutes per game, like what, bro? Like what is this league? Just play the fucking games, or reduce the amount of games. Like the NBA is turning into a joke. What is this? Now we're talking about a minimum minutes threshold. This is a clown show of a league right now. I'm sorry to say. I'm not sorry to say. What are we talking about? Like what in the fuck are we talking about? And it seems like one of the people that's absolutely fed up about this. Is Charles Barkley. So he was on Inside the NBA, and they were discussing some of the last games of the season, and they were discussing players tanking and all of this. And Charles Barkley started to go off on these players because they're the ones that agreed to this when they signed the bargaining agreement. And then now all of a sudden they're hollering and screaming about it. So for those of you who didn't hear what Charles had to say, I want to play the video for you now. Take a listen to everything that Charles Barkley had to say here, and I want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Chuck here.
Buddy. Ernie, I've been paying attention, and we talked about tanking on the podcast today. I think I saw a stat, 170 players didn't play Friday. To me, as much as I love Adam Silver, we've got to do something, man. We can't have 170 starters, basically, not play in games.
I have a question. What if we got our fate sealed and we just want to get proper rest going to the playoffs?
170 players do not have 170.
No, you're right.
Listen,
it would be hard to have 170 starters sitting since there are 150 in the league.
Yeah, well,
that's
do it again.
Auburn education.
I'll hit a man with glasses right between
Auburn education, America.
But seriously though, if you're going to rest Jaylen Brown,
you better check out where you're getting your information.
You don't need Wembanyama for this one.
Go ahead and make your point.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, okay, we got nothing to play for. Let's rest these two guys.
Yes.
Come on, man. You rest Wemby, maybe. You rest Joker and Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon.
Getting up to 170.
You rest LeBron because he's 102 years old. But all these dudes just sitting out, that's just disrespectful, man.
Well, I think the sitting out 2 weeks ago. This is the last day of the season.
Yeah,
so
the last thing you want to do on this last day
is have somebody have an ACL.
But listen, come on, man. Most of these guys are Jags anyway.
No, but if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, let's say, you don't want Zion to play the last game. We can understand.
Why? He rested up the last 3 years.
No. You can't risk that.
Are you serious?
He's been hurt.
Come on, Kenny. Kenny, you're just being ridiculous.
Can't risk. You're not going to make the playoffs.
Kenny.
2 weeks ago, different.
So he's not getting a check?
But I think that
he's not getting a check?
There's a way to.
If you're in the playoffs and your guys,
there's a way to circumvent that.
Come on.
If you're in the playoffs and you're
in the playoffs and your guys need to rest to get prepared for
come on, man.
But here's one that'll really get under your skin, Chuckster. So Brooklyn's playing Toronto today, in Toronto. And Toronto needs that win.
Yes.
Because they could be number 5 still, but they can knock down the 6th spot for sure. And Brooklyn is resting everybody.
Brooklyn is. Ernie, that's
you should
just
see the injury report on the
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. It's unbelievable.
Come on, man. That's disrespectful, Kenny. Would you agree with that?
Well, you could circumvent it in a couple of ways.
Okay, well, give me just one because I don't want to hear your other BS on the second one.
Okay, well.
Or the third one.
Well, you could circumvent it by not giving people more lottery balls.
You mean what I've been saying the whole time?
You can't. You can do that. You can make it a cap at a certain point.
No, just one ball.
Meaning like if you didn't make the playoffs.
That's it.
You just didn't make the playoffs.
That's what
you might be in
I've
the
been
Western
saying
Conference playing against the Thunder, and the Spurs and the Nuggets, who are better teams possibly than
Shaq,
the two teams
let me just make
conference.
this one point. I've been saying this for years. Now teams just they've been tanking for like 3 months. Every team that does not make the playoffs should get one ball. You can't improve your chances losing. Every team gets one ball. That would be the fair way to do it. Because we got
Where else in the world deficiency you get a reward?
Nowhere else. Nowhere else.
I'm trying to think. You get a reward for deficiency.
Only with our stupid NBA crap.
That's it.
There you go.
Come on, man. Stop doing that, man. Just give everybody one ball. That would stop.
So you heard what he had to say. Like, what has this league become? These guys were not playing games on purpose. In some cases, whether it's the team or league, I don't care. The net effect was that you were not playing, and on a nightly basis, the fans were left holding the empty bag. They were left with the short end of the stick, and nobody cared. Meanwhile, players were getting paid for the full 82 games. Then they brought up the idea of shortening the season. They're not going to do that because they don't want to they don't want to reduce the money. So what conversation are we having? What are you crying about? All this is about is players making more money. That's all. Why? Because if you get certain end season awards like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, all NBA teams, and all of this stuff, it unlocks bigger contracts. That's all we're talking about here. These guys are crying about money. That's all. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. They're just crying about the fact that they're being hurt by not being able to earn more money. But this is their doing. Quite literally, they are the reason they are in this position. And to make it worse, Adam Silver co-signed this for years. You remember when Adam Silver used to go out there and argue for load management? You remember that? When he used to promote this pseudoscience? You remember that? And then later on, he had to come back and say, oh, well, the science found out, the evidence showed that it had no impact. In fact, players are getting injured more. You don't say. You don't say, really? Stopping and going. Wow, what a thought. It can lead to injuries. Who would have thunk? I'll go to the gym for 2 straight weeks and I'll stop going for a month and then go back and try to lift the same weight and expect myself not to snap and pop something. Derp. But y'all are still charging the same amount for games. And by the way, now to watch all the games, the league is charging fans even more. And they're still this is the most tone-deaf league in sports, the NBA. The most tone-deaf league. You got LeBron spitting in the faces of fans who are the reason that he's where he is. I don't want to go to Memphis. I'm too big for that. I don't want to stay in a high-end hotel. Bro, wasn't you from Akron? Didn't you come from poverty? You forgot? You forgot. You didn't got lost in the clouds out there in LA. You must have forgot. Jesus, look, this league is turned into a clown show league led by clowns in court gestures. Like, what are we talking about now? So I'm glad that Charles Barkley went off. And the only people that's going to support these current players is soft niggas. I'm sorry. Y'all are the only ones.